welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to the Big Mouth Daily. Remember, you can follow me and tag me over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. So very, very good morning to you. Bobcat, hey Mickey, yo Bobcat. So on today's Big Mouth Daily, we'll be talking about Aquaman 2, and we've got a good update for that from Jason Momoa himself from the horse's mouth. But if anyone goes up to Jason Momoa and calls him a horse, you're very, very brave. We'll also be talking about the controversy about the new designs for the Riddler in Matt Reeves' The Batman. So this is what Jason has had to say about Aquaman 2. After we ended the first one, I went in with my writing partner and we dreamed up the second one. And we went in and pitched the idea. And the best thing I can give you is that I loved it so much that I participated in the writing of it. And so we did the first treatment, and then James and our original writer, David, finished it off. And all of our hearts are in it. Instead of just like getting a script and doing that, like you are 100% being encouraged by your director and co-writers. So that's exciting for me. And I'm excited to go over there. I leave in July and we are starting filming. So that's very, very exciting. Bobcat, the Batman looks even better now. Yes, it's looking better and better for the Batman. We will discuss the Batman very shortly. So, Aquaman 2, which does not have a title as of this video, doesn't have a title right now, but Aquaman 2 will start production and shooting in July. Jason Momoa has co-written this story. It's from a story by Jason Momoa. Now, I love Jason. I'm excited for Aquaman 2. But this does concern me, actors getting involved in the story. What kind of story is it? I think that obviously this has been rewritten by James Wan and David, whoever that is it David Coep or whoever is writing that film with James. So this is a story from Jason Momoa. So that does concern me a little bit, I must admit. There are concerns there, but obviously if the film sucks, we can all blame Jason from a distance, of course, because I wouldn't say it to Jason's face. He's a big man, you know. He could destroy me. But anyway, I'm excited that it's actually happening and we're going into production in July. This will be the third DCEU movie in production. That's with Flashpoint and Black Adam in production as well. So very exciting times. And thank you to Ronnie Dodge for putting me onto that story. Very, very helpful. Bobcat, hashtag bring back the air bubbles, lol. Let's not. So, right, now there's been a bit of controversy about the design for the Riddler in The Batman. I'll give you my take. I'm going to read what a fan said. I just retweeted it on Twitter because I thought this was a really good take. So, I'll show you the pictures in a minute. So, wait. While I was gone, people were slandering Riddler's design in The Batman. What do you mean it's the best Riddler design we've had in years? And it's honestly so fucking creepy and cool. Comic accuracy does not matter for these designs, and this slaps. So, let's have a look at this. This is one of the pictures we have seen that's been posted. I'll show you a couple of others as well. I like this. This is absolutely scary and mysterious. Exactly what we want. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia, glazes out. Yo, brother, I marry Billy. Cool. Who's Billy? Here's another picture. Pretty cool as well. Pretty awesome, right? That's not a great picture. You can't see much there. And there's one more. Oh, this is just from the comic book, so we don't need to see that. So, listen, when we got Batman Forever, everyone was complaining, or most people were complaining, that Jim Carrey's Batman was too campy. He was pretty much taken from the 1960s series and some of the comics. Now, I love Jim Carrey's The Riddler. It's fun, and it works for that movie, what Schumacher wanted to do. By the way, release the Schumacher cut. We want to see the real version. It will be a great kind of respect to Schumacher's, legacy as a director, and what a legacy he's got. Phone Booth, what a movie. Bobcat, probably an unpopular opinion, but I think Pattinson's Batsuit is the best so far. You know what? I don't like this best ever or best so far or worst ever. I like it. It looks brilliant. It's got the gun. It's got the guns cut in half as the bat symbol. That's a sensational take. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia, glazes out. You going good, brother? I'm going very well, Kurt. I hope you're okay as well. Shitty result again. Great goal by Cavani. Still not won a game. My prediction of us not winning again for the rest of this season is at the moment pretty safe. Great to have 10,000 fans in the stadium as well yesterday as well. So here's the thing. This is a different Riddler. This is a year 2 Riddler, just beginning. And this is not the same arc for the Riddler that we're used to. This is an interesting arc. Maybe he lost something because of all of this corruption. He's not going around going, what's brown and has 5-6 legs or whatever. You know, this is a guy sending riddles to Batman, aka Bruce Wayne, to lead him onto this conspiracy that could or could not involve his parents, Martha and Thomas Wayne. So this is a very different story. This is a darker story and a grittier story. And we don't know if this is just, it's maybe a bit like Pattinson's suit. It's a working process. So what he's wearing as the Riddler may be a working process. And that's fine with me. I don't know why people lose their shit so easily. But it could be Snyder fans trying to stir the pot. You know, it's funny, actually. I love Zack Snyder's DCEU films, and I like him as a person and as a director. But some of his fans with their false propaganda really are off-putting, aren't they? I'm going to sneeze. Oh, bless me. Oh, my God. Why did I have to sneeze on a video? Somebody tell me. Bobcat. I think I got a way to talk to that girl. I have 3 options. Just got to hope all 3 don't fail or don't work. Told you the best thing to do, mate. Write her a letter or knock on her door. Best to be direct. Bobcat, bless you. Thank you very much, Bobcat. And so that's really the updates we've got today from the DCEU. But things are evolving very quickly. Very soon in July, we'll have 3 movies in development and production and shooting for the DCEU. That's very exciting. Now, Ronnie Dodge, I think, or somebody else told me yesterday on the live stream that they're shooting Metropolis, a Metropolis sequence for the Flash movie. Now, this is very exciting. So what could this all be about? First of all, what we have to discuss is this a DCEU one sequence, or is this a Flashpoint sequence? Is this new Supergirl, played by Sasha Calle, actually a normal DCEU Supergirl, or is she a Flashpoint Supergirl who will come back with Barry that will still be an active character when the DCEU is rebooted? I think that's a very interesting debate to have. It could be either, to be honest with you. We really don't know. If they are kind of reworking things, she could be a rebooted Supergirl. Bobcat, I'm so stressed about figuring out how to do the Joker right. I don't want to screw this up. You just got to do what works for you, mate. Don't worry about the comics. Don't worry about what people think. Do what you think is right. It won't be universally right. It won't be right for everyone, but it will be your Joker. It will be your version of the Joker, just like Burton's version of the Joker is Burton's version of the Joker. Nolan's version of the Joker is Nolan's version of the Joker. And Todd Phillips' version of the Joker is a mesh of what Joaquin wanted to do and what Todd Phillips wanted to do as well. So always use your own mind and your own personality. It's a bit like playing Doctor Who. It's not just about being a good actor and performing the piece. You've got to put your personality into that character. That's how that character works. Because every time he regenerates, it's a bit like a reboot, a relaunch of that character. And that makes it very, very exciting. Bobcat, I mean, mine is like Arkham Joker mixed with my style. Yeah, you can mix it in with an existing version, or you could do your own version, which could be better than any other version. But whatever you do, it's going to be your version of the Joker. It will work for some people, but really you're making it for yourself anyway. So that's pretty cool, isn't it? So I'll be excited to see how that ends up for you, Bobcat. And so as we see all these films in development, and we await for James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, who's apparently James Gunn's a bit of a Dexter fan. And I had to correct him on something for a joke. So that's cool. So I think Michael C. Hall should have been in Peacemaker, right? He should have been part of the Suicide Squad. Make Dexter a part of the Suicide Squad. I mean, Jesus Christ, he's a killer, for Christ's sake. He's kind of this vigilante, isn't he? So that would be really, really cool. Never going to happen, but I'm glad that James Gunn is a fan of Dexter, because Dexter is one of my favorite shows of all time, and Dexter is coming back. Bobcat, I really like prop work. It's fun. Cool. I love working with props myself, and the people who design the props are fantastic because they make them look so real. But as an actor and a director, you've got to make sure when you're picking them up, they feel like real things and they don't feel like props. And I think that's always done so well in theatre work, in films and TV, and that's all part of the acting and directing process as well, of course. So yes, as we got some interesting films this year with movie theatres reopening. We've got James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. We've got the Black Widow movie. We've got Eternals. I think the film of the year for me is Spider-Man No Way Home, if these rumours are true, of these original Spider-Men coming back as well, and what's going to happen there. We've seen a couple of pictures of Tom Holland's Peter Parker bruised up as well, so it looks like he's going to be in a bit of a fight. Some of the rumours are this is the most bruising superhero supervillain fight that Peter Parker has ever had in live action. So that's very exciting. So probably, actually, I mean, not a big MCU stan or Marvel stan, but I'm really, really, really looking forward to Spider-Man No Way Home if they're going to do what the rumours suggest they're going to do, because we know Doc Ock is in this movie. So that confirms everything to me. They can keep on denying the rest of it, but Doc Ock is in this film. Bobcat, I think we know what my film is. Oh, yes. I think it's Eternals, in it. You're a big Eternals stan, right? Bobcat, also, what character did you say would be cool on the Suicide Squad? I think I said they're all cool, didn't I? Trying to trip me up again, give you spoilers. Every character is depicted wonderfully in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. So you'll have to wait to see it. It's a very unique film, very different to the first one. And so it's an interesting take, and people are going to have their opinions, as I have my opinion. But my opinion is muted for many reasons, because I can't talk about it. Bobcat, no, you said Dexter. No, I said Dexter. Dexter is one of the best TV shows ever made. These creatively bankrupt people can never do a great Dexter these days. But we're getting a Dexter Revival, which is very, very exciting. So apparently it's darker than before. They're trying to kind of fix what went wrong with the finale. I didn't mind the finale so much. I didn't mind Depp being killed off. Bobcat, is that a DC property? No, Dexter is a TV series about a serial killer who kills serial killers, who works for the Miami Crime Lab department as well. So he's solving crimes and he's killing serial killers. Actually, there are a few Dexter comics at Marvel Comics, so he's kind of with them, which is a shame. But yes, he's a lot of the fans see him as a modern day Batman, so he's a great character. Okay, I thought so, lol. He's not an original Marvel character. It's, the series is based on a novel. I forgot who wrote it, and it's called Darkly Seeing Dexter. So basically, Dexter, played by one of the greatest actors I've ever seen perform, Michael C. Hall, is back with Dexter later this year, I think in the fall, and I'm very excited, or it could be the summer, actually. We will have to wait and see for that. Now, Superman and Lois dropped a brand new episode after its break, episode 7, directed by David Ramsey. The clips I have seen of this look fantastic. Unfortunately, I no longer have access to Superman and Lois here in Cyprus. It's not available in the UK. It's pretty much only available on the CW app and HBO Max. Bobcat, sounds like gunshots outside my house. Oh dear, you better duck. And Superman and Lois, the clips I've seen look fantastic. There's a bit, I think, when he's about to heat vision a soldier. So I think we're getting to a situation now where this could be, not now, not yet, but could end up being the best live action Superman of all time. Why could Tyler Hoechlin's Superman and Lois show be better and bigger than anything we've seen before? Bobcat, my windows like rattle. I think, right, the mixture of this grounded Superman, as Todd Helbing has said, he's a grounded Superman. He's a family man. He's trying to balance his family life and his work life as Superman. We've got this Captain Luthor complicating things. Lois has got her bits of investigative reporting to do. So there's a bit of everything in this show, and it's looking very good. And the production values are absolutely fantastic. I'm very pleased with this show up to episode 6. But as I say, sadly, I will not any longer be able to review Superman and Lois until it ends up on one of the streaming platforms, or I can buy it on Blu-ray. So that's very sad. Bobcat, I hope it wasn't actual gunshots. It wasn't, mate. I'm quite sure you're okay. Yeah, so disappointed about that, to be honest with you, that I can no longer watch Superman and Lois. As I say, I really, really hope that can change, because the first 6 episodes are sensational, and all the TV spots and trailers I'm seeing are sensational. The fans are telling me great things, so that's amazing. And brilliant. So looking really, really good. I'm not gonna give up in trying to see Superman and Lois, but at the moment I can't see it either anyway, legally or any other way. So that's disappointing, because it's a great show. And thus far I have been reviewing the episodes here on Big Mouth, on the Big Mouth Daily. So very, very sad, but I do think he's a well-grounded Superman. And this is what's so good. Everyone keeps on complaining we don't have Superman. Well, we do. We have Tyler Hoechlin's Superman, an active Superman that everybody loves now, that everyone's excited about. Bobcat, I've also started writing kind of like a sitcom type show. Awesome, Bobcat. Awesome, mate. Keep going. Keep up the good work. And so I feel this could be a Superman that everyone falls in love with, because I just think he's got, as I said before this started, when they were telling us what they were going to do, one of the things I was excited about, and I had my doubts because, hey, the CW, but what I liked about it was a unique take. It wasn't the same old thing. Bobcat, I like how I go from gunshots to sitcom. Yeah, it's all funny, isn't it, I suppose, if you've got that kind of humour. And yeah, so I think what I liked from the off when I heard about it was that Superman and Lois was actually an original take. They were doing something new. You've got the two sons. Nobody knows what's going on. Is this an offshoot from Crisis on Infinite Earths from the Arrowverse? Is this its own thing? Nobody's quite sure quite yet what's going on. We know that Diggle is going to guest star. David Ramsey, who played Diggle, directed episode 7. And from the clips I've seen, it looks really special. Bobcat, there it is again. Bobcat, I don't know what they is. So yes, definitely. So as I say, as you can see, I'm a massive Supes fan, and I've been crying out for a version that everybody loves, that everybody can sit there and enjoy and talk about every week. And I think what we're seeing with Superman and Lois is finally a live-action version of Superman we can all enjoy. And that's what we're crying out for. And I think they should really go all in on this Superman. Give him movies, give him his TV show, keep his TV show going. Tyler Hoechlin can cameo in the DCEU live-action universe as well. We have got one Superman. Now, we don't know what's going on with Cavill. This week was supposed to have some big announcement, but Mikey Sutton, it looks like you're letting the side down. It's Wednesday. We've got Thursday and Friday. If you end your week on Sunday, then maybe. But, you know, I expect something. I want to hear something, because I think the fans deserve to have clarification on this. So we need to know what's going on with Henry Cavill's Superman. But it's been a conversation for such a long time. The guy is 38 years old. What's going on? You know, is he in or isn't he in? He doesn't want to clarify. The studio don't want to clarify. Listen, of course I'll be disappointed if you're not continuing Henry's Superman. But at least if I've got clarity that he's out, then, you know, I can move on. We can all move on and enjoy him in Zack's trilogy, right? In Zack's 3 movies, and say he was a great Superman. It didn't work out because of that reason and this reason. I mean, to be fair, Henry Cavill's like had Snyder's trilogy. Poor Brandon Routh has had Superman Returns and, that cameo on Crisis, right? Now, he looked awesome in Crisis, but we want more of him as well. And I think we will get more of him as well, which is very, very exciting. But for now, we have Tyler Hoechlin's and Elizabeth Tulloch's amazing versions of Superman, Clark, and Lois. And that's really awesome. When he's Superman, he looks very cinematic. When he's Clark and being his father, it's very, very awesome. And, it all works. And what's going on with these sons as well? It looks like one of them's going to be evil. One of them's going to be pure. I think both of them will have superpowers at the end of it. I know that Jonathan hasn't got superpowers right now, but I think he will develop it. Those powers, and these two will be fighting against each other long in the future. So that's very interesting as well. And there was a warning from Jor-El in the early episode, wasn't there, when he said, this guy, he can't do what you do, Cal, which is very interesting. I'll tell you what, I hate being blocked up when I'm doing a video. So annoying. So annoying. The human body is annoying, isn't it? I wish I had superpowers like Superman. I would never be blocked up. I would never sneeze, and I would never cough. But what can you do? There it is. So there's 5 of you in the chat. So if you want to ask me any questions, please feel free. We can talk about the DCEU, the MCU, entertainment in general. We can talk about football if you want. But, keep it to those kind of things. Let's make it interesting. Let's not make the chat boring, right? So, so if you want to ask me anything, go right ahead. I'm here. I'm probably here for the next 20 minutes. But there's not much news out there right now. Now, going back to this day and date thing, a bit of confusion right now that the movie June will not be on HBO Max. Now, the director was never happy about it being on HBO Max. Now, we know that Jason Kilar is the author of this day and date plan, probably from John Stanky as well. Now he's negotiating his exit, which will be good news because the good directors will stay on WB, stay with WB, which is great. So it looks like there's some kind of confusion here because a lot of sites have been saying that June will not be on HBO Max, part of the day and date release. But then a publicity person from Warner Media said that it will be. So this is interesting. It looks like a bit of a power struggle going on between David Zaslav and the outgoing kind of AT&T team. So this is going to be an interesting thing. David Zaslav may give them a bit more money just to shut them up so he can halt the day and date thing. I think he probably wants to do that straight away, even though he's not officially in charge till next year. It's clear he's making the decisions now. Bobcat, it sounds like an ice cream truck outside. Cool, go and get yourself a 99 ice cream, mate. Get me one while you're at it. I love the flakes. But so I believe and I predict the day and date thing will be abolished. It was a controversial decision that I defended at the time because I wanted these movies to be put out there. I didn't want any more delays, and I think it was a good idea. But it was also a desperate move by AT&T, and it's obvious why they were doing it. Bobcat, it's 3:48 a.m. Oh, that's nice. Go and get yourself a nice early ice cream then. I've never had an ice cream at 3:48 a.m. So if you have one, you can tell me what it's like, and I might try it tomorrow morning at 3:48 a.m. And so, it'll be very interesting what happens with this day and date thing, actually. Ronnie Dodge, morning, mate, and thank you, Ronnie, for putting me onto that Aquaman 2. We've discussed it a little bit. I have said I'm a little bit concerned that Jason Momoa has actually pitched a story for Aquaman 2, and I said if it sucks, we can blame him. Sam Dejan reviews, watching Superman and Lois right now. Do you know what, Sam? I don't have access to it. Where are you staying right now? Because I was able to watch it somewhere, I won't mention where, but now it doesn't work anymore, so I don't have access to Superman and Lois. But I was actually just talking about Superman and Lois and how I think it could actually go down as the best version of live-action Superman ever. Not right now, but I think by the end of this season, because I think we're all enjoying this show, I can't think of anyone who doesn't like Tyler Hoechlin's version of Superman now. Maybe during the Arrowverse when he was crossing over with Supergirl, but now I think people are really down for this. Could this be the first version of Superman since Superman the movie where all the fans love it together? Bobcat, that's so weird that the ice cream truck came directly after the gunshot sounds. Well, not really, mate. It just turned up, didn't it? Anyway. So, yes, that's what we've been discussing this morning. We've been talking about Jason Momoa, Aquaman. The shooting will start in July. We've also been talking about the new designs for the Riddler, for Matt Reeves' The Batman. Some controversy there. People are not happy about it. But you know what? People complain when things are dark and gritty. Then people complained about Jim Carrey's Riddler for being too campy. You just can't win. This is what I mean with it, existing IPs. There's always someone who's going to complain, and that's rather disappointing. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, interesting about Jason doing the story. I did hear him mention this months ago. I will say, Ronnie, it concerns me. It concerns me. Bobcat, Mr. Freeze and the Joker are coming for me. Ooh, that'll be exciting. Get their autographs. So basically, people are complaining about the design for the Riddler. So anything's possible. The thing is, right, nobody's seen this Riddler yet. As I said about this, the Batsuit, Pattinson's Batsuit, it's cool and all, but it could be a working process. It's like the Batmobile. It won't always be like that. This is a year 2 story. So as we go on with the other movies, all these costumes and the Batmobile will all kind of be the Batmobile, maybe the costumes we're used to, or maybe they won't be, which is totally fine with me. This is somebody's take. I can't wait for it. It's great that WB are letting Matt do whatever he wants. They're very excited about this movie. We're all excited about this movie. So I don't know why people are bitching. Of course, it looks very un-Riddler-like. Ronnie Dodge, I like the Riddler design, but you've got to remember that Riddler and Batman are new to this story. Yes, they're a working process. This is their beginning. So their costumes and vehicles and whatever and their aesthetic look will change. It will be ongoing. Bobcat, I think this will be the second best Batman film yet. The Dark Knight is the first. I actually prefer Batman Begins to The Dark Knight because you get a lot more face time with Christian Bale. It's a Bruce Wayne origin story, and that's why I prefer Batman Begins. The Dark Knight is awesome, but I prefer Batman Begins personally. So that's my favourite Batman film at this moment in time. And I think Christian Bale was a terrific Batman. And I don't think anyone's beaten him yet. But we will see what happens with Robert Pattinson. It's going to be an interesting take. Bobcat, be right back. I'm going to investigate this noise. Okay, mate? So, yeah, that's who my favourite Batman is. Christian Bale is the best actor who's played Batman as well. No question about it. Let's not mess about here. What they did with that character in Batman Begins was sensational. We got a deep look at the psyche of Batman, like we got the deep look at the psyche of Arthur Fleck and Joker in Todd Phillips' Joker movie and via Joaquin Phoenix's award-winning performance. So, yes, that's how I see it. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. I'm going good tonight, brother. Glad to hear it. And I'd love to know who all your favourite Batmans are. I don't think I hate anyone as Batman, even George Clooney. I think as Bruce Wayne, he was solid enough, especially the emotional bits with Alfred when Alfred was dying and stuff. So, yeah, I don't mind him. Obviously, I don't love him as Batman. I don't think he's amazing. Ronnie Dodge, definitely Bale or Keaton. Keaton's very, very good. I would always plump for Bale just because of Batman Begins and the great job him and Nolan did with setting up this character of Bruce Wayne becoming Batman. The tag Batman Begins is such a deep look at the psyche of this character. And it's great. You've got Liam Neeson as Ra's al Ghul, and you don't know he's Ra's al Ghul at the beginning of the film. What a twist that was as well. Definitely my preference. I think Christian Bale has not been beaten. And I know a lot of Batfleck fans will be saying, what are you talking about? I just like Christian Bale's version. It's very, very good and it's very, very raw. And I like seeing my characters at their beginnings rather than Oh, hi, this is a Batman. I've been around for 30 years. You're never going to see my previous adventures. Hello. Don't like that. So I like Affleck's Batman. I prefer his Batman to his Bruce Wayne. Maybe a little bit too watered down in Zack Snyder's Justice League for my liking, but in BVS, he was sensational. And that's my take on that. But yeah, so everyone's got their favourite Batman. Everyone's got their favourite James Bond. Who is my favourite James Bond? Well, Roger Moore was my first James Bond. I thought Daniel Craig was amazing. Casino Royale is my favourite Bond film. But I think Roger Moore will always have a special place in my heart. Ronnie Dodge, to me, Keaton's Batman is great, and that's why I'm pumped for him in The Flash. Yeah, I think everyone's excited for that. Sam DeJan reviews. I like Daniel Craig. I like him as an actor. I like him in Casino Royale. He's all right in Skyfall, but I think he's got too much control behind the scenes. And he's the one who brought Phoebe Waller-Bridge to rewrite this film, which is troublesome. And now we've got this woman who's the new 007. You see, they could never create a female James Bond, but this is a way of giving James Bond a female lead. So R.I.P. James Bond and your franchise, but we'll always have your other movies. Ronnie Dodge, I grew up watching Sean Connery Bond. Yeah, you see, the thing with me is I saw Roger Moore first, so he was always my preference. I just prefer Roger. Roger. Look, Sean looks great, but not a particular Bond that kind of grabs the screen for me. If you're a woman, you would want to sleep with him. Or maybe if you're gay, you'd want to sleep with him. Who knows? But, you know, at the end of the day, I like Roger. I love Roger Moore. I love Daniel Craig. I think Pierce Brosnan is kind of the continuation of the Roger Moore James Bond, and I like him for that reason. Some of his movies weren't the best. GoldenEye was great. I didn't really like Tomorrow Never Dies. I found that watered down and a bit boring. And then the films got a bit more outlandish, didn't they? I think GoldenEye is probably the best of what Brosnan did, but there's some interesting movies there. And he was a great Bond. And, you know, he's been cast as Dr. Fate now, which is sensational. As a Bond fan and a DC fan, Dr. Fate is a very important character for the future of the DCEU, and he's going to be huge in this film too. So I can't wait to see how they're going to do this. This is obviously an older Dr. Fate, an older Kent Nelson. Don't forget that Pierce Brosnan must be in his mid-60s now. Got to be. So this is actually a Dr. Fate who's been there, seen it, and done it. A bit like Batfleck's Batman. So it's going to be interesting. He's going to have a backstory, very interesting. And so, but with James Bond, everyone has their own Bond. Sam DeJan reviews, since Pierce Brosnan is in the DCEU, can we get Daniel Craig? Well, why not? Why not? Daniel Craig, of course, has tried to do blockbusters before. I think the only thing that works for him kind of as a mainstream actor is Bond, and I know he's involved with Knives Out. Is that mainstream? I think that's more indie, really, isn't it? But of course, it made more than indie money. Very popular film, and Knives Out 2 is coming, but not my type of thing, really. So it's something that I have steered clear of, if I'm honest. But you can pretty much get anyone for these comic book franchises now because there's nothing else for them. There's very, very few films that are not capes these days and not blockbuster types. So these poor actors, right, you know, they don't have many options, do they? Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited for Daniel's final Bond movie. I'm glad you're excited. I'm not sure if you're going to be excited afterwards, but good luck. Good luck to every single of my fellow James Bond fans watching this film. I think the villain, fantastic. The villain is fantastic. Ronnie Dodge, also very nervous, and you have every reason to be nervous because Spectre wasn't a very good film. In fact, Daniel Craig said this, and these are not my words, YouTube, in case you try and cut me off. I'd rather cut my wrists open than make another Bond film. That was what he said after Spectre. I think Spectre should have been his final movie. He's looking a bit worn now. We should have gone with someone else. But hey, everyone, we've got a woman of colour as the new 007. We don't need James Bond anymore. So R.I.P. James Bond. Good luck, everyone. I've got the box set. I can watch any Bond film whenever I want. James Bond will live forever. But hey, the alt-left and the media have got their own way. The feminists have got their own way because, of course, they've always hated James Bond, calling him a sexist. So that's the end of James Bond then. Sam Dejan reviews, who would be the next Bond? We may not get a next Bond. We may just have this woman of colour as 007 in the next movies. That could be it. That could be it. That could be what we're getting next. Sam Dejan reviews. I want Idris Elba. Yeah, I'd be fine with Idris Elba, but the thing is, he's getting a bit old now. That's the thing we've got to remember. Ronnie Dodge, thank God for the Warner Media and Discovery merger. It's all about entertainment. Yes, not one mention of representation and inclusion. It's just all about the entertainment. That's what I like from this guy so far. He's not giving us any bullshit. You can do your representation and inclusion, just don't bore on about it. Sam Dejan reviews. Tom Hardy would be an excellent James Bond. There's Henry Cavill is one of the favourites. And what he did in Mission Impossible shows that he can play a different aesthetic and a different type of character. So that would be very interesting. He would be a very, very positive James Bond. He would be popular with the women, we know that, and anyone who fancies men sexually as well. So we have to get that one in as well, so we don't leave anyone out, of course. So I think Henry would be a very popular choice. Ronnie Dodge, Tom Holland, if he wasn't so short, low. Yeah, Tom Holland can't play Bond. Tom Holland would be an interesting Doctor, or I've actually written a story for him to be the Doctor's companion, but not James Bond. No, he can't play James Bond. I mean, it doesn't matter that he's short. It doesn't. And I think he could do it, but everyone keep on kind of fan casts Tom for everything. But I would have him and Jude Law as a Doctor and a companion. That would be awesome. That would be a great partnership. Sam Dejan reviews. I don't want Henry as Bond. I want him to keep playing Superman. Why can't he play both? Let's have our man dominate cinema. Let's be a bit ambitious in our thinking. Sam Dejan reviews. Robert Downey Jr. No Americans, please, as James Bond. No, absolutely not. No Americans as James Bond. James Bond is British. And I know I complain about people saying it's acting and, you know, I'm not saying that. But we have a tradition of a British actor. And I don't care what colour the actor is, but at the end of the day, got to be British. Let's keep that tradition going. Let's employ British actors for a British production, right? Ronnie Dodge, him as a Doctor Who companion would be great. Yeah, Jude Law as the Doctor and Tom Holland as the companion, and I'll make a very complex story. I've got the story all written for the first season. I've got about 2 or 3 seasons written for a Jude Law Doctor Who. I think very interesting. Well, actually, for me, I've always wanted to play the Doctor. I would love to play the Doctor because there's so much freedom in playing the Doctor because you can put a piece of yourself in it. So I think that would be sensational. I'm a big Doctor Who fan, and I think playing the Doctor would be the #1 role. Can't play Superman. Look at me. Can't play a superhero, but Doctor Who. I mean, I'm 48. You know, I'm still at the age. I look good enough. I think I do anyway, to play the Doctor, and I would absolutely love it. And let's break the glass ceiling. The first Anglo-Greek Cypriot Doctor. Why not? BBC, you believe in representation and inclusion? Cast me. Come on. Let's do this. Sam Dejan reviews. Chris Hemsworth. Nope. Not for me. Not for me. Well, actually, Chris Hemsworth, interesting. But no, he hasn't got the acting chops. He's not a particular great actor, Chris Hemsworth. I know Chris Evans. Chris Evans would look great in the bow tie and the suit, but again, he's an American actor, so no. That's an important thing. I don't think we want to go American actor with James Bond. Keep it British, and the Doctor must always be played by a Brit. Keep it British. Keep the traditions going. There's a lot of American actors of different colours and different races getting work. British actors don't get as much work as American actors, so why should they come to our production and get that star role? Sam Dejan reviews. Andrew Garfield, an interesting one. Yes, I think Andrew will be an interesting James Bond. Yeah, for sure. I think he could be in the mould of Sean Connery. It'd be very interesting. Ronnie Dodge, that's what I love about Doctor Who. Every actor brings their personality into the character, yes. And you've got to do that. You've got to do that as the Doctor. Basically, you've got to put everything into it. Because you've always got to be like that nutty professor that has all this information, but you're a traveller. You're an adventurer. You could be the weary traveller or you can be the David Tennant. I want to travel. There's danger. Let's go. You can play it either way, really, which I would absolutely love to do. And you've just got to block out everybody else's performances. But remember that those actors are part of this character now. It's not a different character. He regenerates, but he's still the same person. Or she, or however the identification of the actor playing them is the same person. And I think that's important. So the Doctor is a fabulous character. From day one, when William Hartnell first played him, the Doctor was fascinating and entertaining. And we've had some great Doctors, not so great Doctors. But it's such a long-running show that you're going to get versions of the Doctor that you just don't like. It's just one of those things. And you hope it never kills the show. Although I think Sylvester McCoy did kill the show. That's just my opinion. But Ace, in his era, was one of the finest companions. So that's interesting. Sam Dejan reviews, I love Andrew Garfield as an actor. I want him to come back as Spider-Man. Well, it looks like he is coming back in Spider-Man No Way Home, so you're going to get your wish, aren't you? This could be a big thing. This could be a permanent, return for Tobey Maguire and Andy Garfield. So let's see what happens there. That is very exciting. I think it's the film of the year. I think it's the blockbuster of the year. There's no question about that. Even with my biased DC hat on, I can't lie to you and pretend that Spider-Man No Way Home isn't the film I'm truly looking forward to. Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is the best live-action Spider-Man for me, and can't wait to see him back. It's a very exciting time, and he's reactivated his Twitter account as well. So exciting times if you're a nerd, no question about that. Ronnie Dodge. Yeah, not so great for Jodie, though. Yeah, unfortunately, I mean, my advice to Jodie is this. Next time you get an iconic role, don't make a statement where you say, men, there's no need to be afraid of us women and I'm a feminist. Talk about the nuance of your character. Talk about the history. Talk about what you want to bring to the character. Forget the politics. Nobody cares. You were cast as the Doctor. Make sure your showrunner, which he hasn't done, has given you a good nuanced take on the character. And you don't have that. Your showrunner just basically saying, hey, we've got a woman now. We don't have to do anything else, which is a tragedy, really. So, and it looks like Chibnall's not going anywhere either. So we're stuck with this situation. He doesn't do the Christmas episodes because of different people of different religions being offended. So, unfortunately, that's the problem. Sam Dejan reviews, I want a Black Canary series on HBO Max. Journey said in an interview she wants to do it. Unfortunately, it's not up to Journey. It's up to Warner Brothers. Lots of changes coming to Warner Brothers, of course, Sam. So we'll see about that. Ronnie Dodge is going to be between Spider-Man and the Suicide Squad being the best movie of this year. I think the Suicide Squad will be more loved than Spider-Man No Way Home. And let me explain to you why. Let me clear my throat. Because there's too much expectations of Spider-Man No Way Home. So people are going to be disappointed naturally. So with James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, people are expecting great things, but people are going to give some leeway because it's James Gunn. And I think with Spider-Man No Way Home, it's not really it's not a famous director doing it or anything. If it was Sam Raimi, I think that would be interesting, but it's not. So I think Spider-Man No Way Home will disappoint some people, and there'll be question marks because some people don't even want these Spider-Men to return. They just want to focus on Tom Holland. So there's already angry people out there. So this is a big moment for Kevin Feige and the MCU. It could go ever so right, or it could go ever so wrong. It's like the Flashpoint movie. A lot of people calling it lazy and a lack of trust in Ezra Miller and, in the universe. And, this should be a proper Flash origin movie. But that's gone now because we've already seen the Flash in Zack Snyder's Justice League and in Justice League. They both play a prominent role in both movies. So, interesting. But I think the Suicide Squad, I mean, it is interesting. I mean, the Marvel film that nobody knows how well it's going to do is, of course, the Eternals. This is one that's going to be that has been made by Chloe Zhao. She's won an Oscar, of course. She's very popular. But will this merge into great box office? This is interesting. Because it's MCU, people should flock to it anyway. So I'll be very interested how that works out. And it'll be very interesting who comes in for Black Widow as well. Sam Dejan reviews. I don't want to see the Flash origin in the movie. Well, why not? Why don't you want to see the Flash origin? Don't you want to see? Do you realise there's some people who don't know his origin, that he gets struck by lightning and he becomes the Flash? Some people need to see it. I want to see that. I always wonder about people and people who know stuff about these characters, why they're so kind of offended by origin stories. When we saw Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne's parents die in Batman vs. Superman, I was saying, not this bit again. But how many times have we seen it? We've seen it in Keaton's Batman, in Burton's Batman. We've seen it in Christian Bale's Batman. But where else have we seen it? We've seen it in Gotham. That's 3 times. So what? It's an important part of the mythos, right? Sam Dejan reviews. DC should do the New Gods to compete with Eternals. Well, if they do, I don't want Ava DuVernay anywhere near it, and I don't think that will happen. So that's great for me. That's great for me. Sam Dejan reviews. We saw it in Batman Forever. Yes, so what? That's a different story. Sam is the most important part of the guy's character. It's got to be referenced. It's got to be. You can't just step over things because you yourself know all about it. We're here to bring in a broader audience because the studio wants to make that type of money. It is a business after all. So I'm not offended about seeing a flashback. And after all, in BVS, it was great to see him shot. Sam Dejan reviews. Everyone knows his origin. That's a very arrogant thing to say, Sam, isn't it? There's lots of people from the mainstream audience who know Batman but don't know his origin so well. So a lot of people know his origin, but not everyone. It's a good place to start. It makes no sense to be offended by it. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited for The Flash. Are we going to get references to Batman and Batman Returns? Well, it depends if this is not a brand new Flashpoint version of Michael Keaton's Batman or if it's a continuation of the Tim Burton Batman. Interesting. Sam Dejan reviews. I don't want the Flash origin. It was on the TV show. I don't care. I do. And you're going to see it. You're going to see him struck by lightning. You saw it on the TV show. That's great. But many people don't know the Flash. So it's not just what you want or what other people on the internet want. It's about the story making sense. And by seeing him struck by lightning, that gives the people who don't know the character so well, being invested in the character a lot more. So we're going to see him struck by lightning, and I agree with that. Sam Dejan reviews. It's a continuation from Batman Returns. Oh, well, we don't actually know that. We know this is Michael Keaton as Batman, but he's going to be in the Flashpoint world, so he could be a new creation, or he could be that Batman, but we simply don't know that. Ronnie Dodge, you're going to see Ezra's Barry backstory, hence why they got a younger actor to play Barry. Thank you, Ronnie, and I want to see that, and I'm excited to see that. This just gets more audience investment into the character. This is the first movie. This is important. This is something maybe we should have seen in Zack Snyder's Justice League, right? But anyway, Andy's going to do a great job with this origin, and I'm very excited to see it. Sam Dejan reviews. Batman Forever and Batman and Robin won't be mentioned. That's right. They're being cut out. A bit like Superman 3 and Superman 4 were cut out from Superman Returns. They weren't using that. Bryan Singer was just working off of Superman and Superman 2. Although, it really just referencing Superman the movie and not Superman 2. Ronnie Dodge, I want to see Ezra's new suit. Yes, we all do. Yes, it's an exciting reveal. I can't wait to see it. Obviously, I think they're shooting Keaton's stuff first, so he can move on and do whatever he wants, because he's probably got other projects. He's an older gentleman as well. So I think this is what they did with Kevin Spacey's Luthor stuff as well, shot all his sequences first, as they were going to do for the Superman Returns sequel, so he could go back home. Sam Dejan reviews. I love Brandon Routh. I want to see him come back as Superman. then you'll be looking forward to the Flash movie then, because I'm convinced that he and Nicolas Cage will be playing different versions of Superman in that movie. Very exciting. Bring all that on and let's hope this all works out. Sam Dejan reviews, Brandon Routh needs an HBO Max series. Well, we'll have to wait and see for that. It will be a very exciting thing to happen, and we hope it happens, but there's no guarantees. Sam Dejan reviews, Huntress needs an HBO Max series. Well, everyone needs an HBO Max series, don't they, Sam? But not everyone's going to get one. Ronnie Dodge, I think they're doing Keaton's first because of the pandemic and probably a busy man. I just think it's, the pandemic's not really a big problem in London and they're tested and everyone's vaccinated now. So it's not a big deal. I don't think it's about the pandemic. I just think he's an older gentleman. He wants to get in and get out. And, and he's his position in the film is so detailed in that Flashpoint moment. Now, what's interesting is, will he be part of the rebooted universe? That's interesting. I think he will. Sam Dejan reviews, there should be a Superman multiverse movie with all the Superman actors. Well, I'll go you one better, and I keep on talking about this on this channel, that there's going to be a multiverse Justice League. And imagine this, President Denzel Washington's President Superman as the leader of this multiverse Justice League. Smash a like on this video if you would like to see Denzel Washington as President Superman and the leader of the multiverse Justice League, because I think that would be awesome. But I'd love to see a multiple Superman movie, but then is that just a showboating type of movie with not much originality to it? Although the fans would gobble it up for sure. Sam Dejan reviews, Denzel Washington should play Steel. Well, I don't know much about Steel. I'd love Denzel Washington to play anyone in the DCEU. He's not going to do it. He's not going to ever play any comic book, but it would be great if he did. Ronnie Dodge, I think Keaton will be involved in a Batman Beyond movie, but he will continue as Bruce Wayne, not Batman. Well, you know what? He's going to train Batgirl. She'll be the Batman Beyond character. But do you know what? It doesn't mean Keaton won't be Batman anymore. He could be the Batman in the DCEU. Sam Dejan reviews, they should meet up and fight Brainiac. That would be awesome. Always important to remember that we can't get everything we want. Sam Dejan reviews, Batman Beyond, exactly. But it will be Batgirl Beyond. The movie will be called Batgirl Beyond, which will cause some controversy, but I'm fine with it if it's done well, It's all about it being done well. You know what? When I said get your comments in and ask me some questions and make your comments, I didn't think anyone was going to do it. And I thought this video would have ended half an hour ago. So well done, everyone. A great chat going on right now. And this is what I want to see. Not nonsense. I want you to come in and talk geek, because this is what I feed off of. This is what I want. This is what I want a channel for, to feed off the people who love what I love, who are like me. And I want to feed on the geek. Now, I don't mind giving people personal advice and things like that. But, yeah, if it gets too stupid, then the channel's just going to fill out and die. And people are going to be put off coming in. So it's great to keep the conversation geek. Maybe a bit of politics. Maybe a bit of soccer. Manchester United chat and stuff like that. I'm all for that. Ronnie Dodge, I mean, the filming Metropolis scene soon for The Flash. So I reckon Supergirl stuff. Yes, Supergirl stuff. And that's interesting. I was saying at the beginning of the video, is this a DCEU Earth 1 Metropolis sequence, or is this a Flashpoint Earth Metropolis sequence? And I think that's a very important discussion to have. I don't have a clue. It looks like she's a Flashpoint Supergirl, but I could be wrong. So that's interesting. But I'm excited that we're getting a Supergirl in the DCEU. That's so awesome. I really do believe that. That is awesome. Awesome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Have I got any water? Hang on a minute. That's very lazy, isn't it? You see what I did there? But I'm thirsty and my throat's fucked. Sam Dejan reviews, Superboy needs to be in the DCEU. Superboy from the comics, yeah. Not the Superboy that's Superman in the future, Superboy. What a great character Connor Kent is. And I hope they do it. Ronnie Dodge, but I do think in the end of the movie, Barry brings Supergirl and Keaton's Batman with him and changed everything. Yes, absolutely. And imagine that, how exciting that's going to be. So, and I think some other characters too. Maybe a new Superman. Sam Dejan Reviews. Will it be the clone from Lex and Superman? Well, that's the Connor Kent I like. So, first of all, we need a Lex Luthor in this universe. And I think we're going to have a new Lex Luthor. And maybe there will be a brand new Lex Luthor via Flashpoint. Now, my pick would be, because I'd be happy with an unknown actor, but bring Michael Rosenbaum in from the Smallville Earth and make him the Central Universe Lex Luthor. He's dying to do it. He's not working anymore apart from his podcast. Let's do this. Richie Moe, nearly missed you again, lol. Oh, you've got to keep an eye on the ball. This is how you know I'm on. Right, follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. I will launch a link for the video a couple of hours before I go live. So always look out for it that way. Sam Dejan Reviews, Bryan Cranston, not for me. I mean, that's your choice and that's cool. Ronnie Dodge, we have Superboy in Titans. Yeah, but that's not good enough. If that Superboy can come in centrally, because we're dealing with the multiverse strategy now, but I don't just want someone to be in Titans. I want Titans to be part of the Central Universe because it's part of the multiverse strategy. Everything is canon now, right? Sam Dejan Reviews, why they keep Jesse Eisenberg? They're not going to keep Jesse Eisenberg. We know that Jesse Eisenberg isn't a very popular Lex Luthor, apart from the Snyderverse fans. So we need a brand new Lex Luthor, and Michael Rosenbaum deserves this. He's the best Lex Luthor. I bet you if we had a poll, not a Snyder fans, by the way, but a proper poll on a channel with different types of DC fans, Michael Rosenbaum would win that vote, hands down. He's the best Lex. Richie Moe, I've got you on Twitter, bro, but I don't log in every day because they're eating each other over opinions, lol. Well, do what I do, though. Just ignore them or just unfollow the pricks that wind you up. That's what I do. I don't even look at them. Or I just quote tweet and do a laughing emoji. Don't take it so seriously. You know, these are unintelligent people putting up propaganda all the time. Just ignore them. So if you want to support me, go on Twitter a little bit more often and look at and when you go on Twitter, just go on my profile and see if I put a link up yet. That's what you should do, right? Because I like you, you like me. Why can't we be buds, right? And then you can come in the videos more often, right? Sam Jan Reviews, Jesse Eisenberg could have been good. He was Lex Luthor in Zack Snyder's Justice League. I think he should have been in there more. I think Zack was wrong. Richie Moe, yes, thank you, my friend. So that's all you have to do. If you don't want to look on Twitter, just look on my timeline to see if I've shared it yet. I mean, my channel's pinned on there anyway, so you can click onto my channel to see. But the best thing is just to see if I've posted a link, which I'll do 2 hours before the video launches, or maybe more sometimes. But my advice to anyone who's triggered by any negativity on social media, don't let them rob you. I love social media. I love going onto Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok. I enjoy it. I enjoy being a content creator. Not because I'm an elite and lots of people are interested in me, because they're not. It's for me. I love it. Don't let people still stop you doing things that you enjoy. Sam Dejan Reviews. He was gone in jail 2 more. I know, but he should have been more. He was the one. It's his fault Steppenwolf's there. He needed to be there a lot more. I was disappointed. And I was disappointed that we didn't get Lawrence Fishburne's Perry White in Zack Snyder's Justice League. That was a mistake as well. Ronnie Dodge, I didn't see the point of Lex being in Zack Snyder's Justice League, but I loved he told Deathstroke that Bruce is Batman. I loved that. I did see the point. Lex Luthor should always be involved. Lex Luthor is the top boy villain. It's his fault that Steppenwolf and Darkseid have been alerted to Earth. He should be involved. And he should have a little encounter with Superman. Of course. That's Superman's greatest nemesis. That's a mistake. In my opinion, of course. And it's all about opinions. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one. Not Ronnie Dodge. Sam Dejan Reviews. They should make Ben Affleck Batman. This is interesting, though, isn't it? We don't know. We don't know. We just don't know anymore. It's all in the balance, you know, new ownership, which basically, forget the word merger, it's new ownership. There's a new person running Warner Media now. So I think anything's possible. Richie Mo. Once the solo movies fell through, Zach had too much story to cram in. Yes, well, the thing is, right, it was also, listen, Richie, in my opinion, and I'm sure you're a Snyder fan, and I don't know, there's some biased Snyder fans who don't want to listen to different opinions, and I'm a fan of Snyder's DC, but I do think the whole thing was wrong from the inception. We started well with Man of Steel. Give a Batman origin, a Green Lantern origin, do that, and then go into Justice League. But yeah, he had a lot of story to tell, but I don't think it hurts to have a bit of Lex and Superman seeing each other for a split second or something. It's not a big deal. It's just something I would have liked to have seen. Ronnie Dodge. We can't say anything about Ben Affleck until after The Flash. Yes, that's interesting. But whatever happens there, Ronnie, doesn't mean in an Elseworld run by Zack Snyder that Ben can't have his Batman movie. You know, that's what's so fun about this. So, and I know the current leadership are saying no and they're not interested and they hate Zack and Zack hates them. But we've got a new owner here. David Zaslav isn't going to care about these characters. He will do what he thinks is right. This is a great move for the Snyderverse fans, for us DC fans, and I just think it's exciting, especially with 4 movies in production, you know, these free HBO Max things as well. So it's just exciting, really. It's exciting for me. It's exciting for you. It's great when we can talk like this because this is what I want from this channel. I want to hear what people want, what people think, ask me some questions. Not that I'm a big authority on it or something, but that's what I'm here for. Richie Mo, I like the way they were going, but I've loved more solo outings. Exactly, Richie, I agree with you. We should have started solo. You had Man of Steel. Don't worry about Man of Steel 2 till further down the line, right? Now, interestingly enough, we had an Iron Man and an Iron Man 2 close together. I think that didn't work for that franchise too well, coming in with Iron Man 2 so quickly. I think you do a Superman movie, a Batman movie, a Green Lantern movie, a Cyborg movie, even a Supergirl movie, because she was connected to what happened in Man of Steel. He had a prequel for her in the comics. So once you do all that, then you do a Justice League. You don't do a Suicide Squad in the 3rd movie. Big mistake. I don't know whose idea that was. Big mistake. Unless you're doing a Suicide Squad versus a Justice League movie, why did we need the Suicide Squad so early? They're not even anything to do with what's going on with Zack's arc. So it's a weird thing for me. And this is part of the problem. Zack's a great director, but a leader of a franchise, I'm not so sure. Ronnie Dodge, Ray going after the Warner Media lady on Twitter isn't a good move with the merger just saying. It's interesting because he reckons he's got more information to tell about her. Apparently she didn't treat him very well, so that's interesting. That's Ray Fisher, I'm afraid. I mean, obviously, with this new leadership, he and Zack may be doing this on purpose to show them what's going on so they can just clear out these people, these toxic people out the studio. But who knows? It doesn't affect me any longer. I don't take it seriously any longer. Richie Mo, Deadshot is in the storyboards by Jim Lee. What storyboards? Ronnie Dodge, Cyborg movie, but not Ray Fisher. Him going after Walter has made me lost my respect for him. Well, at the moment, he's not Cyborg anymore. We'll see what the future holds there. It's interesting. But nothing's ever over in entertainment. I never thought Dexter would come back. I never thought 24 would come back for an extra season. I never thought Dirty Den would come back to EastEnders. It's never over in entertainment. Ronnie Dodge, I mean, if Zack and Ray continue, it could backfire on them. It could, but it also could get them what they want. Rishi Mo for JL2 and JL3 on display at the AT&T in Dixie. Well, that's interesting, and I didn't know that, Richie. Thank you for that. So if we could have had Deadshot in JL2, that would have been awesome. Because Will Smith was one of the reasons I loved that film. He's literally the star of the film. Forget about Margot Robbie and Jared Leto. Will Smith brought butts on seats for that movie. He brings butts on seats for most of his movies. I mean, Wild Wild West was shit, but forget about that. Most of his movies. So that's interesting. I mean, I would have been so excited to see him again. And those projects may still happen, especially with the new ownership now. So, yes, never write off anything in the entertainment industry because you will have a big, fat custard pie in your face. Nothing's ever dead. Nothing is ever dead in this industry. Richie Mo, I'll send you the images on Twitter. Thank you, Richie. I appreciate that. I've lost my sandal. So, yeah, always very exciting to talk to the fans and, you know, to know how you feel about things and have these conversations. I think it's great. I think this is what social media should be about. It can't just be your voice all the time, and there's not much to talk about right now either. So this just prolongs the videos. That's good for me. I want the videos to be longer, especially when I've got a bit of time in my hands. I'm going to have to shoot off at some point, but yeah, it's been great, and I've really enjoyed it. Ronnie Dodge, anything is possible, but it's very unlikely the Snyderverse will continue at the moment. Well, that's the thing about the entertainment industry. You never know, my friend. You never know. We were saying the same thing about the Snyder Cut, and out of nowhere, we heard there was going to be an event. There was an event. It trended by 1 million, and all of a sudden, Zack Snyder's Justice League was released. So nothing's likely, nothing's unlikely. Everything is going around in clockwork ways, and anything can happen at any time. As I say, many people made fools of saying this is unlikely, that's likely. We just don't know what's going to happen. It wasn't very likely that Gwyneth Paltrow's head was going to end up in Kevin Spacey's box in Seven, but it happened. So when you're dealing with entertainment, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, nothing is predictable. We don't know what's going on. We don't know how they work. And, you know, we never knew there was going to be a takeover, did we? We didn't know this time last week we were going to have new owners for Warner Media and a new merger, but we got it. So always be careful of what you're writing off. Because we're not there. When you're not there, you really know very little. There's people going around saying they know the new name of the company. You don't. You don't. You're just making up shit. But I would call it Discover Warner. It's a perfect name. Yeah, it may not have the Discovery on it, but Discover Warner would be a great name. It makes it more about Warner, but let's face it, the WB IPs are more valuable than what Discovery do, but obviously Discovery are filthy fucking rich and they've got money to burn. So what they do works. So I understand that, but I think Discover Warner, I don't think they'll call it that. They could call it Discovery Warner Plus or something like that. That'd be interesting. But I think Warner Brothers has to be on the name, and I'll be very pissed off if it isn't. So I'm excited to see what their marketing team have come up with. That's for sure. Ronnie Dodge, I just can't get excited for the Snyderverse to continue. I love the way the movies have been going since Justice League, even though a couple of bumps. I just think they've been little movies, haven't they, Ronnie? Nothing big. They've been little movies. Aquaman was good. Shazam was good. But these are just things just plodding along. And we want to more than plod along. Richie Mo, I think the day of the 250, 300 million blockbuster is over for now. I don't think it is. No, I don't think it is. I think cinemas are reopening, and I think, are you talking about investments or profits? I think people will invest that type of money. I think this ownership will invest that money. AT&T haven't been because they didn't have the money. They should never have bought this company. They took a risk to make lots of money to pay off their debts, and that's where it's gone wrong there, Richie. But I do expect big investment from this new ownership. This is a very ambitious ownership. Ronnie Dodge, I mean, The Flash is an event movie for us next year. It is an event movie, but how much are they spending on it? That's interesting, isn't it? Rishi Mo, budget. Yeah, I think you will see this new ownership next year. I think you will see some pretty ambitious things. This is a big bucks geezer. This is a big bucks initiative. AT&T have been doing things on the cheap, and you can't do that in the entertainment industry. Things cost money. you've got to, you've got to invest to get things back. So they did well. I mean, they made $1 billion from Aquaman. Luckily, they got $1 billion with Joker, a film they weren't overly confident in. So they did well with that and invested very little in those movies. But you also have to invest big as well. When you're making big blockbusters, and Aquaman cost a lot of money, by the way, to make. When you're involved with big blockbusters like Shazam, some of the elements of Shazam looked cheaply done, didn't they? But they could get away with it. It's still a good movie and I still like it, but you need investment. You cannot cheapen a movie or you will lose. So Walter Hamada can make films cheap and he can make a lot of money from them. They made Birds of Prey cheap and they made a little bit of a profit. Richie Mo, which upcoming movie do you think will hit a billion? And do you think it will be this year? I think Spider-Man 3 will, if any. I think James Gunn's The Suicide Squad. I think most movie theatres around the world will be reopened. Not all of them, obviously, not India. But I think China is a big market and they're totally reopened as far as I know. So China being reopened, America pretty much will be totally reopened by August. So I think that the Suicide Squad could hit $1 billion or around 800 million. And I think Spider-Man No Way Home will definitely hit that unless there's issues. So that'll be interesting. So I think these people are just hungry to go back to movie theatres and watch these movies. So I think there's not going to be any hesitancy. If it's something the public want to see, they'll slap on their masks, social distance, and watch them. I mean, even if you think about it, when things were really bad with the Christopher Nolan movie, Tenet, it did well considering how many movie theatres were closed and how many people were scared of going out. So there's a hunger to go and watch these movies. So I think the good movies, the hyped up movies will get $1 billion or around $1 billion. And I definitely think No Way Home. Eternals has got a chance just for the fact that it's an MCU movie. So I think this will be a healthy outlook. And I think by the end of the season, you'll see some really hot tickets in town. Definitely, Richie. There's no hesitancy from the audience. The audience want to go to movie theatres. That's obvious. The audiences want to see these blockbusters. That's obvious. So I don't see any issues whatsoever here. Unless we get another, version of COVID and everything shuts up again, that's a different situation. And all we can do is cross our fingers. But, vaccines are being redeveloped all the time. I think the world is opening up and saying, look, we've got to live with this thing now. And that's what we've got to do. So I think the reopening is important. I think it's important that James Gunn's The Suicide Squad is out in August. So there's still a bit of time to reopen a lot more movie theatres around the world and the US. And I think that's important. So I think this is good. I think the projects that are coming out for both DC and Marvel are win-wins. I mean, I see Aquaman 2 as a big one. I see Shazam in 2023. If we get the Black Superman movie, I think if it's done well, people will go and see, just out of intrigue. Obviously, the Flashpoint movie, very exciting. So that's the one that can go either way, really, the Flashpoint movie. Black Adam, I think, will be awesome with the stuff that's coming out from that production. I think the Flashpoint movie is the one that could either be, or wow, new era for sure. Well, in here, that's the film that's, is on a tightrope. That's not a foregone conclusion that that's going to be successful. So but no one can predict how a film's going to do. And when you get these predictions from these people, sometimes they get it ridiculously long. They made poor predictions for Wonder Woman 2017 that it wasn't going to do very well. I mean, it linked on to 800 million just about, but they had to keep on re-releasing it. They pushed Wonder Woman 2017 a lot. They really wanted to say this is a successful movie, a successful female movie, and it's one of the greatest comic book movies ever made, by the way. But if they didn't push it as much as they did and keep on re-releasing it, it would have made Man of Steel money. So there's no question about that. But these people are very dubious. They want to see female movies equal to men's movies and do better in places as well. So that's the kind of atmosphere and environment we live in now. So, 2 people in the chat, 3 likes. Well, that's better than nothing, isn't it? So I'm going to sign off for today. It's been I didn't know if I had enough content today to even keep this video going for 10, 20 minutes. So thank you, guys. You've made things very, very interesting today. Please comment down below if you're rewatching this video. Like, share, and subscribe. Sharing the videos are very important if you want to help me out there. Share the videos and let people know about me, that I'm a cool dude, very easy to talk to, gives out the information, chats about movies, big geek, British, bit cockney, good with the ladies. I'm sure they'll be swarming. Let's get some women in here. That would be cool, wouldn't it? We could have a party then. Anyway, like, share, and subscribe. I will be back tonight around 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m. UK time for Big Mouth Live. I will put up the link about a couple of hours before I launch the video this evening. So keep an eye on me over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Keep in touch, and I will be back later for Big Mouth Live. Until then, goodbye.